Morning, sweeties. I'm Eric Karias, and today we're back with Genesys because it's fun and it's the only format where Earthbound is actually viable. Although this list in particular, this variant specifically, isn't that viable relative to other Earthbound variants, including Pure, which is shocking. And I'll get to the reason pretty quick. But before that, I need to say that there will be no replays in this video because I haven't been getting many good replays in with this variant. It's just pretty rough because I either win super quickly and it's not interesting, or my opponent destroys me and it's not very fun. And of the games that were sorta interesting, I only really had like, what, 2 of them or something? And so instead of replays at the end of the video, I'm just gonna be showcasing a couple of combos and doing some test hands. Combos for the King Calamity variant for this variant, so a sub-variant, that will be at the end, and the test hands will be at the will be after the yapping and such. Let's begin, I suppose. Well, how do we begin with this? For starters, this variant is purely focusing on Chaos Ruler. Your main plan is to get to Chaos Ruler, and we'll get to how to get to this guy pretty soon, I suppose, but the reason this variant doesn't perform that great, honestly, is just that it focuses way too much on Chaos Ruler, pretty much. So like, the idea is that since you're focusing everything on Chaos Ruler and the whole build is just the turboing out Chaos Ruler, you aren't focusing as much on trying to make the best plays possible in general, pretty much, because you're focusing so much on Chaos Ruler, which is not the case for something like Pure Chimera or Pure plus a small Red Dragon Archfiend package. Here you're going full aggro on making 4 disruptions with the assist of Chaos Ruler, but if you don't get there, you're left stranded with a return 0 plus a hot red, which is fine sometimes depending on the matchup, because return 0 sucks. The problem is pretty much just you'd rather play a variant that's consistent at doing what it wishes to do. For example, Chimera, or, Red Dragon Archfiend, or just Pure. And how do you get to Chaos Ruler? You pretty much can get to it with any combination of starter plus extender, so any of your Earthbounds, or, Nova, plus Yugioh, or your bazillion copies of a Chaos Allure Queen. The reason I'm only playing 2 Chaos Allure Queen is just because she's kinda clunky with 19 spells you gotta play. Technically, Final Bringer could be a hand trap, but we'll get there when we get there, alright? I'll talk about the hand traps and such later. You could also play Ojama Green instead of Final Bringer. They serve pretty similar functions, and Ojama Green can also be sent off Chaos Allure Queen, so that's a pretty good use case for this guy, It's pretty much a board breaker, right? Anyways, how do you get to Chaos Ruler? Of course, you can do, as I said 2 seconds ago, starter plus extender, but Keeper or Sweeper or Chaos Allure Queen, and the myriad of searchers you got for her, can get to Chaos Ruler. Actually, you can't do that with only Chaos Allure Queen. You need Palace in rotation. That's also another reason as to why you're only playing to a Chaos Allure Queen. If I had more deck space and wasn't forced to play Duel, and also didn't feel like you still need a couple of pushes going second, so like I kind of wanted to play Final Bringer, you know. I would play free Buyou, free Chaos Alert Queen, plus an additional Vision Resonator, but, you know, Duel is essential and Final Bringer is just great utility. So you can pretty easily just go Keeper into Sweeper, into Risiela. Risiela grabs Azamina LZ. You can summon LZ into Chaos Ruler, chainlink one Chaos Ruler, chainlink to LZ to add Sinful Spoils of White Forest. This gets you Chaos Ruler, and a way to fuse into Gremlina in case you add an Earthbound off a Chaos Ruler, or already have it in hand. You can do the same thing with Allure Palace. You get 2 Chaos Allure Queens, Chaos send the other one, equip the other one when she's on field, summon level 5, and then use the inherited effect from Palace to summon Effect Veiler into Risiela, into Alzazet, and go from there. Same thing as the Earthbound line. So that's the main gist of the deck. You just very easily get to Chaos Ruler with all of your options, and get to make use of Chaos Ruler pretty effectively with Buyou being more accessible than ever, ignoring the Chimera variant, but like, that's not real. I'll make a video when I get there. I have a lot of things to focus on other than Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's pretty rough. But it's gonna be coming out eventually, probably before the Red Dragon Archfiend variant, yeah. And Red Nova. Nova is both great in the hand and in the grave, more than Buyou in fact. Sometimes you don't really care about the additional body Buyou brings that late into the combo, because you're only playing one level 6 that's worth making. A majority of level 6s are just not worth playing due to the investment, or them just being going second staples rather than enablers for more sealing and such. So you know, you'd rather sometimes just pitch Buyou to the grave with Chaos Ruler. That of course nets you Mutiny, which can get into Kraken, or Gremlina if you haven't summoned her yet. Back to Nova. Nova in hand can be used as cost for Nova, or in grave can be used to trade out Scarlight into a Kraken or something. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire deck, just summed up in a couple of minutes. It's rare for me to conclude this section this quickly. Earthbound Fusion also benefits greatly from being milled off of Chaos Ruler. In fact, this is like the main way you're gonna get sealing off of Chaos Ruler. You have a pretty easy time getting to Palace or Dance, or with Buyou you can get Prison out very easily using Kraken. Kraken can also just get Palace, but I haven't found much use to adding Palace actually. Because like that deep into the combo, the discards are really taxing. Important things about the extra deck. Do I have them? Yes. The main important thing here, I feel, is just the Risiela. Risiela can be summoned with pretty much the entire deck. Every one of your starters and starter plus extender. She does pretty much everything in the deck, and you know what's funny? You can grab Chaos Allure Queen off of Risiela, which means you get to trigger Pescu very easily going second. The problem is, going second, you're not resolving Chaos Allure Queen. So it's more of a silly interaction you get from Risiela. It could sometimes come up to summon level 5 into Juraisin, but Azamina LZ is just usually the preferred option to summon. You can still Stardust into Krako, which isn't the same thing, but it's still a disruption. It's a draw. It's pretty effective still, and it doesn't make you lose out on Sinful Spoils of White Forest, which can be, of course, used on your opponent's turn to turn a revive off a Griffin, so you could revive Keeper into Walker into Prison, then use Sinful Spells of White Forest into Kraken, or just revive Gremlina into Nova for follow-up. Then you use Sinful Spells of White Forest to just make Kraken and get present from there. So with this section concluded, we can talk about the options you get before we get into King Calamity territory. First of all, we have these 5 hand traps. Crow is pretty much the only one you could argue should be in place of Final Bringer and such. And the reason it's not there is because, Final Bringer, I feel, is slightly more high impact than Duel when you're playing so few non-engine slots. And like your entire engine is just all big binguses to make Chaos Ruler and to make use of Chaos Ruler. So I don't really like Duel in this case, pretty much. But if you prefer Crow. If you prefer Crow over Final Bringer, you're free to use it. It's really that simple. What is not very simple is Valor and Nibiru. These cost way too much to be worth it, since you're obligated to play LZ and Chaos Ruler, because this is the Chaos Ruler variant after all. You could argue that you could play normal LZ, not azamina, but her cost is just pretty heavy to be used reliably enough, I feel. And you lose out on Sinful Spells of White Forest without spending a normal summon, so it's just not really worth it. Vidalos is a great side deck card into decks that rely on their field spell to play and such. So this is the only one I would actually play consistently in the side, and Crow is just decent enough to be sided in. The reason I wouldn't cut Duel for something like Valor is because Duel is the best card in the format. There is no questions about it. It's just that good in this format. It stops everything. Every stupid combo deck, every non-combo deck even. It's just ridiculous how good the card is. Next we have a bunch of tuners. Vision, you can play multiples of. The problem here is just you don't have enough space, pretty much. This section is pretty much just, here are some options. Anyways, don't play them because they have some weaknesses, which I feel is fine enough to describe some options you get to play. Like, you can mess around with them, you can have fun with them. I'm gonna be talking about their weaknesses and strengths, mostly weaknesses, because, well, there's a reason I'm not playing them. Second Vision has, I've always thought it wouldn't be too bad to play, but it literally never came up. The Second Vision, specifically, so just, I'm not sure if I really want it. Like, usually Vision just gonna be chilling around in Grave anyways, so like, I can just Gaia grab it back. It's not horrible. Like, you can still use Sweeper on following turns to make use of Vision from deck if Gaia gets removed and such. It's pretty niche, but it's not half bad. What is fully half, 2 halves bad? That's a terrible phrase. I've never seen that again. What is just bad though is Assault Synchron. It's a very free extender, more free than Vision, because you can summon it when Chaos is... you can special summon it when Chaos is on the board. But Assault Synchron's problem is just... it is useful to have a free extender, and you do have the 6 points that you can fit this into. The problem is it's just very non-searchable. You need to hard draw this. And also, you don't have enough zones to make use of the effect that would be pretty helpful to enable Chaos Ruler, essentially. So it's very interesting because in Constructed, I would say, oh yeah, Salt Synchron is pretty decent in this variant. If Chaos Ruler was alive, of course, but he's not. He's only alive in Genesys. But Assault Synchro would be pretty solid in Constructed because you do have the 6 zones. So like, you don't care about zones, of course, but in this case, you do. Because you just don't have the space to summon additional tuners to make use of Chaos Ruler's Revive. That's an interesting dynamic, but that's also the reason Assault Synchron isn't good at all. Loop is pretty cool. Loop is pretty much just free grind game. The problem is you just don't have anything to summon with it, and you don't have that great of a way to search it. The only way to search it is Chaos Ruler and Luce, and you know, it's just so specific. It's not half bad, it's just way better in the Red Dragon Archfiend variant. Yeah, you could play it, you can have some fun having additional grind game. It's even more cool with Despater. But it's overall just pretty unreliable, I feel. Yeah, unreliable is the term I'm thinking of. It's just very specific. You might as well just kill your opponent instantly instead of going for the spotter looping, you know. This true though isn't half bad though. It still has some awkward aspects to it, like majority of your non-tuners are levels too high for the Struder to do anything. Even those who aren't, you aren't really missing enough tuners to make the Struder worth it. It's more searchable than usual with Ravine and such, but just its use cases are just far too niche, I feel, to make it that worth it. It does synergize fine with Luce, so like adding Luce off of Chaos Ruler and using the Struder with it to summon Moonlight isn't too bad. I just don't really feel like I care about it. Piscu though, I do care about. Piscu is... you could just slot this in as the 41st card. It's perfectly fine as a utility option, just like in any other Genesys Earthbound variant. It's a big nuke, it is an immortal for Nova, and it's very simple to use as a disruption of a Chaos Ruler. And the only downside is just you don't have the zones sometimes, which is pretty annoying. But that's the problem with this entire deck. You make 4 disrupts and don't have room for anything else to be used, which is fair, I suppose, to not spam out everything. But that makes Pisco a little bit annoying and makes me not want to use it much. Although it's really cool with Chaos Ruler, like you're not forced into either hard drawing it or adding it off of Gremlina. You have a very neat but gambly way to get 2 Pisco, which is neat. Then we have Chaos Angel and Dragster. You could play them instead of Duel in the extra deck instead of Moonlight, and I suppose Return 0. Does this guy protect you from Nibiru? Sort of. Like, yeah, you could play this over Return 0, it's not that bad. The problem is Droll is just way too good going second. You could argue for some board breakers in main or something, but Droll just stops everything. Why wouldn't you play it? Call by and cross out are nothing. Pretty much, I haven't seen anyone yet play them. I've seen people on Potter Greed and such, but none of them on the Handshake Negation staples. So yeah, Joel is just way too good, I feel. But these aren't terrible options to actually sub out Joel 4. And lastly we have Fiendish Golem, the mandatory Chaos Ruler, Dark Ruler out. This lets you use Hot Red to negate Dark Ruler. You can use this on Hot Red so that you get it next turn anyways. or just remove something that clogs a zone. I mean, hot rate clogs a zone itself anyways, so like I suppose that's pretty much, yeah, what you would want to banish off of Fiendish Golem. It protects it as well for the next turn, which is pretty nice. And editing area here, and I somehow forgot to mention the Spater, even though I talked about it in the Uvaloop brief explanation. And I felt like I had to correct this, because the Spater is actually a really good card for this variant the more I think about it, and it kind of frustrates me how I haven't thought of using it earlier. You do have 2 flex slots in this deck, in this extra deck, that being Moonlight and Vengeance. They are pretty niche, they sometimes come up as just the generic synchros you can summon that have great utility, but they aren't summoned often enough where I would say they're mandatory, unlike something like Juraishin, which in the test hands I've done, I haven't summoned Juraishin, but in a real game, Juraishin gets summoned a lot of times, so like, yeah, it's pretty much mandatory. And speaking of the Spater, back to the Spater. The Spater is really good, actually. Like, you only need to sacrifice 1 droll from this list, unlike the other 2 synchros, so Chaos Angel and Dawn Dragster, which would need to cut all your drolls to be played. The Spater only needs to cut 1, so it's not half bad. You can substitute it with non-engine, like maybe Crow or something, or just play Aslapiscu or the Second Vision. You can play whatever you wish to, really. And the Spater is really powerful here because you can loop Chaos Ruler infinitely, and you can loop any of your lights and darks, which is really nice for especially Red Nova and a bunch of your synchro plays. You can recycle stuff like Nova, stuff like Fusion, maybe synchros you're banishing off of Chaos Ruler. It's just infinite grinding, and it actually lets you revive Griffin, which often would only be pretty much the job of Earthbound Fusion, and maybe Mutiny to shuffle Griffin back. But that's very specific, and it relies on specific hands, unlike the Spater, which is just more readily accessible. And so yeah, I actually think now that I've done my task stands, remembered about the Spater and such, I actually think the Spater is worth playing at over 1 droll here. And I'm pretty much done with playing Chaos Ruler for a little bit, because I have a bunch of stuff to do IRL and have the Chimera video that I need to test and prep and write down and everything for. So I'm not gonna have much time for retesting this variant, but I'm gonna update you in the guide I'm gonna be posting. More info at the end, literally the end of the video. So back to the actual video. Now here is the fun, or rather unfun, part of the video, where we're gonna be talking about Calamity. This is a mess of a list, but it is what it is for King Calamity. I should actually just swap these out. I know that's not the point, but yeah, there we go. I think this, yeah. So this variant, it's I don't like it. Yeah, let's just get to that. I'm not a fan of Lockdown because I like to play the game and such. Then again, like the full Chaos Ruler variant ends on Juraishin, Return 0, Kraken, and Hot Red. hot red abyss, so like your opponent isn't really having that much fun either. But like in this case, you're just turbo instead of winning. But like that's not the point. What you're here for is the lockdown. How does it work, and why there are some weird changes to the list. The first thing you might be able to note is the last two cards here, Stand-Up Centurion and Dandelion. You may be wondering, what the hell are these two doing here? Because Stand-Up Centurion without Centurions is certainly a thing. So, Dandelion is sent off of Diabellstar to make Formula Synchron, and the reason you need Formula Synchron is to make King Calamity. And the way you get there is basically very simply, this is the base line on which most of your lockdown combos, at least the consistent ones that don't go into Chaos Ruler, or rather, yeah, you do go into Chaos Ruler. It's just not necessary for it to actually mill something useful. And the Chaos Ruler is just a bonus at this point, because you could summon a Scarlight instead of Chaos Ruler, but it's pretty much whatever. Chaos Ruler does give you a bit of grind game after all. Plus, it's not like you have that much to spend points on anyways. I guess Ash Blossom or something, but that's not the point. The baseline combo is you summon Griffin, you summon Hot Red, you summon Formula. Diabellstar will likely be clogging up a zone, which is annoying, but there's nothing you can do. And you basically go Griffin, Revive Keeper. If you have a zone, which you usually don't summon Walker into Prison, then you Turbo Shotgun Formula Synchron. With Formula plus Keeper plus Hot Red, you make King Calamity. And that's really it. The line with Stand-Up Centurion instead is just a backup line. Sometimes you will have a pretty rough time into getting to King Calamity, so you can summon Kraken with something like Scar Red, using Nova for Scar Red, so you have a Red Dragon Archfiend left on board. And then with Stand Up on your opponent's turn, you go Griffin, Keeper, Walker. In this case, you need a free zone to do the full lockdown. And then you Stand Up, Quick Synchro into King Calamity using Red Dragon Archfiend, Keeper, and Walker. Sometimes it could be awkward because, you know, Red Dragon Archfiend blows up your entire board. But sometimes you're able to get to this line with Chaos Ruler for some reason. Sometimes you can get to Booyah, of course, with Chaos Ruler, which makes Kraken pretty easily. You can use a Scarlight and whatnot. I forgot what I was about to say, but like, yeah, that's pretty much the entire thing. You just turbo. Oh yeah, you can shotgun this in draw phase because Griffin is a quick effect during any phase, and you can use Stand Up in said any phase to actually get into King Calamity. So your opponent doesn't even get to Dark Ruler you, which is pretty fun. Oh my god, this was a mistake. Although, I don't really think this is the best variant for King Calamity Turbo. I'm gonna be playtesting after I make my Chimera and my Red Dragon Archfiend video to actually try to find out which is the actual best variant to turbo out King Calamity with, because there are a lot of ideas I've been tinkering with for King Calamity. Although I don't like King Calamity, I think it's hilarious to actually make use of, so like, why not? Yeah, so that's it for the deck breakdown. Now let's get into some test hands, and then I'll showcase some King Calamity combos. Alrighty, now we can get into some test hands. This is a hand ever. It's full combo, so it's like pretty good to show, I think. Palace, wrong button. I should remove the audio. Grab Chaos. I don't need to, in this case, use Allure Palace to summon Effect Veiler, so like I don't really care about adding the second Chaos. I can keep her for maybe follow-up, maybe just follow-up off of Palace if she stays in deck and doesn't get eaten off of Chaos Ruler. I'll summon her. So fun fact, outside of the Pisk interaction, you can also use a Chaos Allure Queen's effect to target an Immortal and equip it, and then use her as fodder for the Immortal, which is pretty cool in the grind game, although that doesn't come up very often, to be honest. Next, summon level 5, go Keeper. Actually no, I need to equip Nova, because I'm only playing one Walker. Summon Walker, grab Harmonic. So here, dude, I wish Return 0, I could play Chaos Ruler instead of Return 0. I mean, they can still Nibiru here, but at least I got a Chaos Angel. I don't know. I feel like that's good enough. Chaos Angel is just way more versatile, I think. But it is what it is. You go Risiela and Grams. This is the basic combo I'm showing you. Just the Keeper plus Chaos. Grab this and this. Pit Sweeper into Vision. Summon LZ, make Chaos Ruler. Chaining 1 Chaos Ruler, chaining 2 LZ. Grab, and now let's mill. So this pretty much decides how the board will look like. Mill 5, that's alright. I think I just add Renova. Next I will summon Vision. Pitch these two off for Griffin. I could have actually added Allure because I'm gonna add Gaia now. I mean, I can still use the second Nova for Fusion Fodder. It's fine either way. Go Griffin. Summon Gaia. Oh, I forgot Mutiny. That's my bad. It's hard to commentate and do combos. I'm still not used to Booyah, even though I've been playing Genesys for 2 weeks now. It's just muscle memory. I've been playing too much Master Duel. Next, make Hot Red. That should be a given. Then I think unironically I could make Levilazabul and using Sinful Special White Forest to summon Vision instead of adding the second Nova. But I do have, and especially so because I do have Mutiny. Put this back. I am doing this so poorly, but like, I don't have an excuse. Pitch this and yeah, Booyah to summon Chaos Ruler. Use Sinful Special White Forest to summon Vision. This is how you play the Red Dragon Archfiend variant, by the way, which I think is really cool that you get to do this combo. Not specifically this combo, but like the combos in that variant let you use Sinful Special White Forest to summon Soul Resonator, and I think that's just pretty neat. Banish Chaos Ruler, wrong button. Go for Levilazabul, and then on your opponent's turn, this technically outs, I suppose, a Dark Ruler. Here I think I can afford to use Nova, pitch Nova, to summon, I could summon a Walker, no, I don't have a Walker, that's, I can still, no, yeah, I don't have the space. See, that's the issue. If Griffin was in the extra monster zone, I could just summon Keeper, make Croco, and then use Mutiny to make Kraken. Or better, make Kraken. No, yeah, that was what I was thinking. I can Mutiny, make Kraken, use Earthbound Fusion Engrave to revive Keeper or Walker into Croco or Juraisin, And then on my opponent's turn, I can... I don't even need Nova, actually. Oh yeah, no, this play is like perfectly fine. I can just pitch Nova, grab Keeper. Thanks, Brain. I can grab Keeper. Synchro these two off for Kroko. Effect to draw, Earthbound Fusion, that's pretty decent. And then Mutiny. To shuffle back Griffin and Grams into Kraken. This is 5 disrupts. Dies to Dark Ruler. You wouldn't die to Dark Ruler if you preserve Nova, I suppose. But that's only 4 disrupts, and we ball in this house. The Earthbound present. Okay, so first hand, I'm gonna do 3 of these before I move on to the King Calamity variant, I think. Just because I don't think it's that interesting, I'm just here to show how the deck plays, so that you can get a general idea of how to do it yourself. I forgot to put main phase, that's fun. Here I would start Chaos. Chaos pitch Yugioh, use Yugioh, grab Mutiny. Chaos, grab this guy into 5. Why do I have a delay whenever I say the number 5? That's... whatever. Grab Nova. Use Nova, pitch 1 in the other. And now I think I'm gonna go for... I could go for Gremlina, or I could go for... I think it's definitely Keeper, because I have Mutiny already in hand, so like I'm not forced to use Harmonic for Kraken. It's just more flexible, I think, to go for Gremlina into Harmonic, into Vision. That gives me Griffin for free, which is pretty nice. Here, Harmonic, same line as before, except I have Mutiny now. You go return 0. Sometimes you will have certain hands that will allow you to maybe use Chaos Allure Queen's equip spell as cost. In fact, that's what the the King Calamity variant does. But in this case, since you're trying to be safe from Nibiru, you're just not gonna do that. Then these two make... That's illegal. That's very illegal. Don't put it in the extra monster zone. This... I think I can... Yeah, I definitely can get away with pitching Gaia, then using Rusiela. Yes, that's... yeah. Grab this, and grab this. I wish I could draw a sweeper hand that will like... it's not like the combo is too different when you don't have access to Vision, you know? You still get Chaos Ruler, you still get a decent amount of ceiling. Go for... And if you get Krakens, instead of Sweeper, you can add Keeper or Walker to summon Kroko or Moonlight. It's fine either way, really. Go Chaos Ruler. I forgot. Thankfully I didn't mill this, but like, I forgot. Yugioh, I haven't used its extension effect, so like, and I already used the floating effect, so like, I might as well add it in this case. Use Sweeper. Go for Vision. Summon Vision. Make Griffin. Vision effect for Gaia. And then use Griffin for Keeper into Hot Red. You actually no, you keep Gaia in hand because like doesn't matter much. Go for... You really just go for Kraken here. It's not like you have better options, because I don't know well. So like, yeah, you see this happens. It's not very fun. Like, this is still 3 disrupts. It's not bad, but like, it's not good either. Simple Puzzle White Forest doesn't have a use. You could technically play Dracus Tapelia for the sake of this, but like, I'm not sure if I wanna do that because of flexibility. Lucha is just way better going second and on turn 3. Moonlight Dragon is a bit specific, so like I suppose you could play this over Stapelia over that. You still get Final Bringer, which is free because Keeper protects you from Final Bringer's destruction, and this might as well be bait. Let's see if I can get a sweeper hand before we get into King Calamity. Ah, right, exactly what I was asking for. Allure Palace, pitch Nova, grab Chaos. This case, I think I'd rather pitch Duel than Valor. Like, in a blind matchup, you're usually never sure. But in this case, I really do feel like pitch Valor is better, because Duel is just the best card in the format. Like, usually in Constructed, if I'm maining Duel, I'd rather keep it safe. But here, I'm taking no chances. Go for this into Keeper. Keeper, Walker, Harmonic. Do you? Yes, you do. I mean, you could go for the risky line and just make two 8s and such. That allows you to get Griffin 100% consistently. I mean, the line is without Vision is pretty much the same thing, except you get a weaker payoff. So like, I might as well show off the turbo combo variant of the combo. Turbo combo. Yeah, I said that right. Turbo combo. Way go. We can keep these in hand. Go Harmonic into Griffin and Graham. Grab a Keeper. Actually, grab Nova. Grab Nova is better, more flexible, just in case, depends on what I mill. Then I still have this. I can go Griffin. Do Ivo. Instead of Griffin, because I wanna squeeze out the value alpha of Effect Valor to make a Rusiela and such. But is that worth it? Especially when I use guaranteed access to Hot Rod, I think it's worth it. Yeah, Revive Sweeper in defense, because Griffin does that. Make Rusiela. Rusiela effect, pitch this, grab. Zmielzat. I mean, sending Allure Palace doesn't matter either way, so like, it's fine. I do get Sinful Puzzle White Forest, which is a pretty big bonus. So this, grab Sinful Puzzle White Forest. 1, 2, 3. I know there's a mill option here in the commands. Sorry, there's a mill option in the commands. It's just /mill whatever number. I just forget and automatically do the mill option. Anyways, what is this? I've had a worse mill in one of my games. I've milled 3 Crimson Gaia, 1 Allure Queen level 5, and 1 LZ. That was probably one of my worst mills ever. Because LZ hardly is useful after Chaos Ruler, it's very specific. 5 is just a straight up brick, it's not horrible engrave, but 3 Gaia engrave It's just awful. Here I think you go Banish Nova for Nova into Keeper. Here's a situation where I would really like original Stardust, because you could go Keeper Allure into Axel Stardust, revive Keeper, Keeper and Chaos Ruler into Hot Red, then opponent's turn I can Griffin to revive, and then use Axel Stardust to quick synchro. But unfortunately I'm not playing that, so like, oh well, gotta accept my destiny. Hey, Hot Red. I could make Rocco, but like that's too specific. And then set this, and on my opponent's turn I can Griffin, revive Walker, grab Prison, use some Phosphorus of White Forest. This is 2 disrupts. And so this is a slight issue with sweeper lines that go a full hyper combo. Keeper lines are just perfectly fine to do so with because of the guaranteed access to vision. Like, but in this case it's just far worse because you're gambling far too much and you don't have consistent access to your big ceiling. I wish I could play more Keepers. It's just a shame. His stats are awkward. It's 300-300 instead of 0-0. And also, so yeah, that just shows how important Vision is to this deck. And also, of course, like Chaos Ruler milling, but that's an issue of the Chaos Ruler variant. Vision just way too important to Earthbound in general to be dropped anywhere unless you're not playing Harmonic. If you're not playing Harmonic though, Earthbound just kind of not interesting. It doesn't do anything, just summon 2 tuners and pass. Yeah, that's not great. You could make azamina combos and whatnot, but it's just nothing. Anyways, we can go into Calamity. I'm just gonna show 2 combos and then we can just end the video, I suppose. And the combo isn't even that convoluted, just really simple. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Grab 2 Chaos and a Keeper. The combos without a Keeper are slightly more awkward and more reliant on Chaos Ruler, but they're overall not the worst thing ever. Chaos for Chaos. Go for 5. Keeper. Walker. Harmonic. This is another issue I have with the King Calamity variant. You don't have a clean line that goes through Return Zero and the King Calamity. Like here, I tried to make the combo work with both Return Zero and King Calamity, but it just doesn't reliably, at least. I don't think even unreliably it works. The combo here, I haven't done this since yesterday actually, but like I completely forgot. Classic. Grab Sweeper into Vision. Then you go Vision. Make... I think here you make Chaos Ruler. Oh, I get to show off the Centurion stuff now because I mill Dandelion with no zones to use it with. I'll grab Nova here. I forgot to add Gaia. Yugioh me. Since you can't use the Avalantis anymore, you have to diverge the line now. And that makes it not easier at all. Go Gaia, I am not in pain. Go into Nova. Does this work? I hope it does. Yes, it does. Go into regular Red Dragon Archfiend. Nova Banish, send this guy into the sun. Make Kraken. Into Stand Up Centurion. And that's it. End phase, on your opponent's turn. Draw phase, you just shotgun Griffin into Walker. Grab Present. Then Stand Up Centurion, go. Make Calamity, draw phase. They can't do anything except Cosmic Cyclone, except Forbidden Chalice, and yeah, this combo is very disruptible. But like, it does win you the game, and you have Kraken as backup. So like, it's not the worst thing ever. I just don't like how one note it is. Outside of just, I don't like full floodgates. I get it, I've said it 20 times, but like, I forget. Go pitch this. Pitch this. Okay, so like, let's pretend now that Chaos Ruler doesn't mill anything. You could technically just summon a Red Dragon Archfiend, but like, I'm just gonna do that actually. Can Duel input please? Hello? Thank you. Go this. Summon 5. Keeper Walker Harmonic. Go Griffin and Grams. Pitch Sweeper into Vision. Summon. I could summon Scarred, but like, that's not good for the example. Like, you usually are going for Chaos Ruler. Here I'm just gonna make base Red Dragon Archfiend to just showcase the Diabellstar combo that goes into Chaos Ruler actually, and doesn't mill Dandelion with Chaos Ruler when all your zones are clogged. Go Gaia. Oh yeah, Dandy. You need to summon your Ojama green tokens. If they're not Ojama green tokens, you lose, by the way. I don't make the rules. Make one of them into a tuner. Both Ojama green tokens into Formula Synchron. Formula Synchron, draw 1. That's a really good draw in case my King Calamity combo dies. And this is pretty much it. Go Gaia, grab Nova. Thanks. Then on opponent's turn, in main phase though, in this case, you go... Oh, I'm stupid. I'm so dumb. I forgot. No, yeah, this is very important to the combo. You go these two into Hot Red. Then on opponent's turn, in main phase, now you're protected from something like at least the Forbidden Chalice or something. But you still die to Dark Ruler because it's in main phase. Keeper doesn't trigger because of the Diabellstar sticking around. Then use Formula 1, 2, and 3. And your opponent loses. So those were the combos of Allure Queen, and now I'm just gonna showcase one combo with 2 Earthbound names. And by 2 Earthbound names, I mean exactly Keeper plus Walker. I'm not sure if other combination do it, but I'm not but like, I definitely know with Sweeper it doesn't work, and with Nova it's probably very awkward to set up. I'm just gonna show this though. Like, at least you would understand the principles behind this thing and how you could turn any combo into King Calamity, I hope. I hope not, because like, I don't want you people to go Calamity locking people and making them think Earthbound is all about this. But you know, I want you to learn how some combos work, because spending a lot of time on them and making these videos. Well, I didn't spend time on this combo. Like I took this combo from a replay I wish TCG sent me. We were chatting at the beginning of this format about King Calamity and such, because I realized you could do it, and they were going, "Oh right, you can do that," and they sent me this combo, and then I remember what the Volantis is, and that's pretty cool. Make these two into formula. Draw one. To fuse. Make Grems. Where is she? This is the reason Vision is super important and Sweeper doesn't make the line function at all. Because you need this step. You go into Scar Red. Grab Gaia into Nova. Use Nova. Pitch this guy into Griffin. Scar Red triggers into RDA. Make Hot Red. And then you win. Same step as the previous combo. You make Hot Red. In main phase you go Keeper and Walker. In this case you do get Walker, which is pretty nice. You grab Prison. Prison is always better to grab than Harmonic, always remember that. Make these three into Go Gadget, King Calamity. And yeah, that's it for this video. A little bit sad I didn't get fun replays with this variant, because I love Chaos Ruler, but just I didn't have that many interesting wins, and the losses were just pretty miserable. And so that'll be it for this video. I will be continuing to work on my Genesys guide video, just the guide, the actual document in the future, and I hope I'll see you soon enough, because I have a lot of things to do outside of the Chimera variant, which I want to show off. And alright then, peace.